Hey everybody, Joe Tactical here again. Just going to go over another basic kit, and this particular kit is going to be on first aid. Now there's a couple more things I'd like to add to this kit, but I think overall the contents inside will kind of cover a lot of ground, considering the size of the kit. Now this is one of those Husky brand, Home Depot kind of like package deals where they have like a little red one, the medium-sized gray one, and then they have the larger black one. And it's cool because it's got a mesh window, and it's made out of pretty decent stuff, considering, I think I paid like $6 for all three of them. And I really like the window because if somebody that's not familiar with your gear has to retrieve your first aid kit, if they see like first aid or something written on something inside it, they're like, okay, Clot Kit, or first aid kit, or whatever you want to write on it. It really works out well. Now, something I did here is inside this, you'll see that it's two actual kits, okay? This is a Clot Kit system. Now, you have to understand that this stuff is not sterilized, but it's made that if somebody's bleeding out, whether it be from a car accident or, little kid fell off his bike and he's bleeding real bad and you have to pull over the side of the road, put some gloves on and just stop the bleeding and then dial 911 with your other hand or whatever. Whatever the situation may be, if there's other people around, whatever. But this is just something to protect you, protect them, and to put pressure on the wound. Okay, I know there's Quick Clot out there and better rubber gloves and everything else, but this is better than nothing. And I have the gloves actually just like folded in this. That way if somebody's bleeding, you reach in there, you grab this, you have it. Now on the other side of a first aid kit, and let me give a little introduction before I pull this out. I know that there's times where women might have certain first aid needs or monthly first aid needs in emergency, and I really think that guys, when you're making your first aid kit, put women in mind. Even if you don't have a girlfriend or whatever, put them in mind, because it would be nice if for a standard every first aid kit came complete with a tampon in it, or a pad or whatever, not to get a little in detailed, and there's like a panty liner in there. But these are also good for blood absorbers or whatever. Not so much a tampon, but like there's a pad in this, and that would really be able to be compressed or whatever, and that's why I have it in that Clot Kit. But I really think, a lot of women will go to somebody else, hey, do you have a tampon in your purse or something like that? And it's really a shame, because half of us don't consider, women's needs, and they're kind of embarrassed to ask a man. But if we kind of set it as a standard as first aid kits, if a woman could say to a man, do you have a first aid kit on you? If this would be a standard in first aid kits. All right, and I really think that would kind of, help out women, because I know everybody at one point or another doesn't have an extra one on them or something like that. And I know I'm Joe Tactical and I'm talking about tampons, but really you have to look at the grand scheme of being prepared for any situation. You can't rule out certain things that may not apply to you, because you could really save the day if you had this in your first aid kit, and it was normal for people to have tampons and stuff like that in their first aid kit. All right, I'm not trying to sound a little redundant with what I'm saying, but I just think it's important. Now let me, I'm not going to go too terribly into detail with this, but I got some basic stuff, and I don't really even like taking medicine for a lot of reasons, but I have some decongestant. It's probably like a Mucinex or something in there. I have some extra strength Tylenol and some cough drops. Okay, just very, very basic stuff there. And yes, the tampon, a couple Band-Aids, a couple Q-tips. It's going to be real fun getting it back in here, too. Now, see, if there was an emergency, I know what you're saying, why are you making it so hard to get everything out? If there's an emergency, I'm ripping this bag apart. You follow what I'm saying? If I need to get these rubber gloves, and there's a paper towel in there and a panty liner, if I need to get to those rubber gloves in an emergency situation, I don't care about the bag. I'll just rip it apart. I don't want to really do it right now. You guys get the idea of what it's like to tear a bag open. So, but that's pretty much it. But really, the tampon, definitely consider it when you're making a first aid kit. Definitely, think about the other sex too. But the maxi pads, the problem with them in stocking a lot of them is they're really thick and bulky. For a clot kit with a couple rubber gloves, it's ideal. But for like a first aid kit, like if you just wanted a small EDC first aid kit, it really wouldn't work because this is like bigger than that. So, just taking into consideration how much room do you have, what other essential things are you going to need in your first aid kit. But this is just a basic kit, guys. I mean, this is something that I would have in my car, or that I would possibly have in a urban backpack. Just kind of throw a kit this big in one of the pouches, and I actually took it from my JanSport mare. I have a video on that backpack too. But just some kit basics and everything else. I would like to get some antiseptic wipes or something like that in here as well, but I'm going to work on all my first aid kits. Stuff's kind of dwindling down and expiring and everything else, so I'm going to have to re-up on all that stuff, and I will be getting that stuff at Emergency Essentials more than likely because you can build your own kit. I don't get a cut from them or anything. I don't make any money with anything I mention in any of my videos. Alright, I don't get discounts, nothing like that or whatever. But I might try to work on some discounts in the future for my viewers and stuff like that, and just try to give people some breaks and everything. That way, if you're going to buy $50 worth of stuff, maybe just get a little more bang for your buck. I don't know. But check it out and everything. Think about what you're putting in your kit, and definitely, guys, I know it might seem a little embarrassing to men and women to talk about it, but it could really save the day if this was a normal thing in people's first aid kits. Alright, so that's that. Little Joe Tactical tips there. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, Joe Tactical out.